طيار؟
صباح الخير كابتن.
وكان طموحه إنه يصير في يوم من الأيام طيار عظيم يحلق في السماء زي العصافير.
I want to tell you a story about Nadim. You know, he's a veteran. He lives in London actually. He's a Jordanian actor, lives in London, and he's been in movies since the 1960s. Yeah, he's been in James Bond. He's the Arab that gets shot or thrown out the window. And he's, you know, he always says, "I've ridden more camels and horses than anyone else." He's always like, but he was in Jordan. He was flying to Jordan from London in 1992 with the cast and crew of The Son of the Pink Panther. And my father was the pilot on the trip. And my father invited him to come to the cockpit. And he said, my son wants to make movies when he grows up. And he said, well, bring him onto the set. And so when they were filming, I went over to the set, and he just gave me like this big warm hug. And he introduced me to Blake Edwards and to Roberto Benigni, and said, you know, showed, like, I sat behind Blake Edwards and watched. This was my first time ever on a movie set. And 14 years later, I you know, after Dave said to write this movie, and I wrote the movie, and I found his number through somebody in Jordan, and I called him up and I said, Mr. Sawalha, I don't know if you remember me, but I wrote a script for you. I said I visited the set of the movie Pink Panther, and he said, you're the son of the pilot. He remembered me. And that blew me away, first of all, because he's such a warm guy, and he's full of like amazing stories. And this was his first time acting as the male lead in a feature film. Yeah. So for him, 50 years later, he comes back home, you know.
شو بقولكوا الزبال؟
قلنا المغامرات هو العالم.
صدقوا اللي بدكوا اياه، بس هو مش طيار. نزينا ما بصير طيارجية.
ايش لابس هيك؟
There's only really 2 professional actors in the film. 11 of the 12 kids in the film came from refugee camps, and they're orphans. That most of them had never even seen a film.
Well, never been to the movies. Yeah, they'd never been to the movies. Actually, halfway into the shoot, we had a day off, and so I took them to Spider-Man 3, and they were so excited. There was like nobody else in the theater, so they were like doing cartwheels in the middle of the theater. But it was like just so magical, and I told them, like, you guys are going to be on the big screen, and it's amazing because the movie's played in Japan, it's played in Europe, it's played in you know, and these kids have traveled. You know, Abu Raed has traveled the world. I mean, it's played in 30 different countries so far.
كان يا مكان قبل مدة من الزمان في واحد اسمه كابتن أبو رايد.